the normal for the United States of America. And I know this community is going to do everything within our power to make sure that it is not.
So, Congressman, you wrote on Twitter and said publicly in El Paso, President Trump's racism does not just offend our sensibilities, it fundamentally changes the character of this country and it leads to violence. Now, the document that this terrorist in El Paso, that law enforcement is investigating whether or not he actually posted this document, which refers to Latinos coming to the country as an invasion, which, as you noted, is language that we've heard from the President of the United States. It also says, and I know, it's hard to make sense of any of this stuff, but it also says that he had this ideology before President Trump. He kind of anticipated, assuming this document's real, the alleged terrorist anticipated that people would blame President Trump for it and said, I felt this way before President Trump.
I don't know the point that you're trying to make here, Jake, but it's pretty obvious to me and anyone who's listened to the president and will look at the facts that his anti-immigrant rhetoric, not just the things that I cited, but calling asylum seekers animals or an infestation. Now, you might describe a cockroach or termites as an infestation, something less than human. You might hear someone in the Third Reich describe a given people based on their characteristic as an infestation or subhuman. But that's what the President of the United States is doing right now. And it's not just with Mexican immigrants, conflating Congresswoman Ilhan Omar with the terrorists from 9/11, encouraging that chanting in North Carolina of send her back. Let's not mince words right now. This president is encouraging greater racism and not just the racist rhetoric, but the violence that so often follows. This shooter in the manifesto cites in part for his inspiration the shooter in Christchurch, New Zealand, who cites Donald Trump as his inspiration. This anti-immigrant rhetoric, and again, it is not just President Trump, but he's certainly, as the person in the position of greatest public trust and power, most responsible for it. This is Fox News. This is what we're seeing on the internet. This is the toleration of intolerance and hatred and racism in this country. This is what is causing what we are seeing here today, and it will continue to happen unless we call it out and unless we change it.
The FBI Director, Christopher Wray, has warned Congress